Oh, we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Flagrant 2 with X and Lou. I'm Lou, that's X. And yeah, man, let's get straight into it. Golden State Warriors. Clap it up, man. They are
Yes.
world champs. Way to go.
2021, 2022 champions, baby.
But hey, I called it in 6. So next year I'm gonna need to get these predictions together and I need to play the lotto.
I mean, was that really? That was an educated guess, man.
I don't
If
know.
you
I
would have
just
told me, if you would have told me the Celtics in four, then I'd have said go play the lotto.
I don't know.
You
I
feel
just
me?
had that. You know, when you had that feeling, you got that. You got that deep feeling. You just, you wanna. You just know. You just know it. I just felt it in my bones. But yeah, man. They won. They didn't. I don't want to say they did the impossible. I mean, they went to Boston and they took care of business. And Curry with the MVP. Um, got a couple of questions here. You know,
It wasn't the impossible, but it was definitely the improbable. Because you gotta think about it, the cast, your big three is the older vet guys. That you
yeah,
still got a bunch of the younger guys. We know that doesn't really work. Jerry Watt said it himself. He said this ain't gonna work, and guess what? It worked.
it worked.
So they definitely did the impossible and the improbable. Let's put it like that. Get all of that. Let's talk. Let the Warriors talk. They talk, man.
So I got a couple of big questions that we're gonna have to dive into this one. First one, we have to talk about Tatum. We got to talk about Tatum. You know it was coming. You knew it was coming. So my first question is, can he be the next Kobe? I mean, we all talk about it. We see how he idolizes Kobe so much, but can he? I mean,
At the end of the day, let's keep it 100. Despite players wanting to be like somebody, at the end of the day, I think his problem is it's not about wanting to be the next Kobe. He got to be the best Jason Tatum out there. Forget thinking about being Kobe. Kobe did what he Kobe do. At the end of the day, when we think of Kobe, Kobe wanted to be Jordan, right?
yeah,
But if we say the name Kobe, we just think of Kobe. We don't think of Jordan.
yeah,
Right
that's a
now,
fact.
we at a point. Right now, at a point where we say Tatum, we think, oh, he's trying to be Kobe. Oh, he's trying to be this. He's trying to be
He just
that.
got to be
No,
Tatum. I understand that. I could
yeah,
get that.
you could take your bits and pieces from Kobe, but just forget about being Kobe. Just be Tatum.
I could get behind that. I think another aspect that you look at it for is when Kobe was coming up, it was undeniable that he wanted to be like. I mean, but who didn't want to be like Mike, honestly?
Yeah.
But the thing is, he continuously worked on his game. He continuously got better, and now it's just Kobe. When people shoot, they don't say, Mike. They say Kobe.
Mhm.
You scramble up a piece of paper and you throw it into the trash bin. You're yelling Kobe. A lot of people are not yelling Mike. They're not yelling. I mean, maybe now they could probably yell Curry, but they yelling Kobe. And I
Mhm.
think when you look at that from that aspect, um, especially for the fact that Kobe is probably one of the only players that is as close to Michael, if anything, if any other player was, as far as footwork, as far as mentality, as far as work ethic, as far as how he treated his teammates and how he cared about the game and winning. He was the closest person to Mike. I think that Tatum could be there, but Tatum has to work on his game. He's gonna have to take off them summers. It's no Cancun. It's no, let's go to Italy for a couple of weeks. No, it's let's get back into the gym because that's what Kobe did. Year round,
Mhm.
Kobe thought basketball, and that's what Tatum has to do. I want to run a stat by you. LeBron James in his very first finals, right? What was that against the Spurs? He averaged 22 points and he shot the ball 36%. He was 36% from the field. Jason Tatum averaged 22 points during these finals and average and on 37% shooting. See a maybe a trend here. I mean, this is your first finals. I mean, how old was LeBron when he went to his first finals? He was around the same age, right? 22, 21, around
Hmm.
there. And Tatum is 24. The way that I look at it is you you can only get better, right? This is your first taste. But it took LeBron going to Miami to learn how to win. Being around Dwayne Wade, being around the Heat culture, it took him going there to learn how to win. He didn't really know how to win in Cleveland. Yeah, they made it all the way to the finals. You could say they figured it out, but unless you could win the finals, that's when you figure it out.
Hmm.
What can you say towards that?
We are putting numbers that are close and similar, but these are two completely different guys.
Mhm.
I know that's not where you're going with the question, but I just wanted to start with that. You know, LeBron, we know how LeBron is and what LeBron does. He really thinks of the floor. His game, his mindset is different when you get on the floor. Like he's reading the game, he's making the plays, he's a step ahead. What I see
Right.
Tatum out there, Tatum is somebody who's playing the game. He knows some of the passes that he got to make, but he doesn't like look them off. He doesn't do advanced stuff that makes the defense, you know, guess and be like, oh, okay, cool. He'll make the corner pass or skip pass, but it's so premeditated that even the person who's off of that person can make it to him in time because he know that pass is coming. But anyway, as far as the winning culture and having to go somewhere like LeBron did, this is you know, Boston. I don't think he's gonna leave. You know what I mean? That's one
Yeah.
thing. This is gonna be somewhere where he has to find a way to become that winning culture. He has to somebody in that organization, whether it's just Ime Udoka who steps up as coach and gets their mindset situated, where
Hmm.
you know they're robbing Jalen Brown, who sat there, and if they would have won Finals MVP in my book. Um, he may have to be one of those voices where he steps up
Yeah.
and it's just somebody who really has to step up and be like, you know what, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna get this together, we're gonna get on one accord, we're gonna make it really something special in Boston where even if you have to bring another vet in who's won already who can help bring that together, but somebody has to get that winning mentality in there. Not just we did our best and we got far, but it's just like, yo, this is unacceptable. Like for them,
Right.
they're probably like, yo, and they're ahead of schedule. Let's keep it 100. So right now, they're probably happy to make it to the finals. Like, but at the end of the day, being making it to the finals just can't be enough.
It can't be. And you have to go into next season with the hunger that look, we had our first taste and we don't want that to be our own. You know, it's like going to the restaurant for the first time and
Mhm.
you know, you pay for that $150 steak and that steak is just so good. You want to go back to that restaurant. You want to get
Mhm.
you want another crack at that steak and they have to come into next season with that same mentality. And I really think that also comes with winning. It comes with because you look at teams that have been there before. They get complacent. Oh, we won. And then they never go
Mhm.
back, you know?
Oh,
So
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Sorry, no, no, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I think and then give them a lot of credit. Give them a ton of credit. You know, nobody had them projected to go to the finals. Not even me. At the beginning of the season, I had the Warriors projected, and I said it was going to be a dog match between Brooklyn, Miami, and Milwaukee. And then as the season started going, you know, my pick started to change a little bit with the Eastern Conference. Um, but Boston was never in the mix for me. You know, it was always a tie between those three teams, and I was high on the Bulls for a little bit too. I mean, the Bulls was playing good basketball for a stretch, so I was high on the Bulls as well.
Yeah, the Bulls are just missing one piece, and then you know injuries too is also riddled their season. Because if they had their perimeter defenders, they could have made hell out there.
Yeah, yeah, they didn't have Lonzo and they didn't have uh
Caruso.
Caruso, yeah. So, but yeah, I was high on the Bulls as well. I thought that the Bulls could potentially go into the postseason and make some noise. I honestly thought that the Heat was gonna you know pull out all the stops and make it to the finals, but it didn't work that way. And like you said, they're ahead of schedule, so now they have to go into next season with that grittiness. What I will tell you this. Jalen Brown is a dog. He's a dog. He didn't want to lose. He didn't want to go home. He didn't want that night. I
Mhm.
wish so bad that was Tatum. Because imagine if they had two dogs out there. It would have been no. We're gonna force a game 7. I felt like that 21 to zip run in the first quarter. I think Tatum was just so like flustered from it that like it was almost he was defeated right then and there. He was defeated. I don't
That
think we're
was
gonna
this.
win this game.
Now that was the second going into the third that they had the 21 set.
No, the Warriors. I'm talking about the Warriors in the first
Yeah,
quarter.
it wasn't the first quarter.
Yeah, they ended.
It was the first into the second. It was from quarter to
Yeah,
quarter. Though. I know that for a
yeah.
fact.
But even still, like that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking this run is the reason why. Like I truly feel, and yeah, you could say like, oh, you could bring in fatigue. But he had like a 300 more minutes played in the postseason than the Warriors, but that's not on them. The Warriors took care of business and they got to the next round and got the rest. That's
Yeah,
not on
and
them.
that was one thing I was gonna say earlier. Was they got to learn, and this is a learning aspect. The fact that they got to the finals and they were tired, they was gas. That literally, like I said, the Brooklyn series could have been 6 games. And
Mhm.
literally, the other two series, they could have been at least 6, maybe 5 or 6 games if they would have closed out better.
Yeah,
So it's like the Brooklyn game, they closed out. So this, instead of being
yeah,
six
they swept
game
them.
series, they gave it to 4. The next
Mhm.
series, instead of going 7 games, they could have been 5 or 6 games, and they would have had a little more, a little more rest. Which they got
Yeah,
to
even
learn how
against
to
the Heat,
close out game. That's what I'm saying. If they would
even
have
against the
both
Heat.
those
Yeah.
series, it should have been 5 or 6 games the max.
Yup.
If they closed
Yup.
out their games properly, they would have had those extra 2, 3 games saved up where they could have brought it into this next series where they're not as tired.
Yeah. And then you look at the turnovers. Look at the turnover margins. Jason Tatum's the first NBA player with 100 turnovers in the postseason.
I mean,
That
shit, he
is
played almost
crazy.
21. Well, how much game he always played? They almost play like what is it? That was like
He
six
played
games. So
900
they played
900 something
24
minutes.
games.
Yeah.
He played 24 games this postseason. Like, and he's young. He's averaging 4 to 5 turnovers. Of course, he's going to get 100 turnovers. And the fact that he didn't close out those other games early and handle business is the reason why he's got 100 turnovers.
Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. It hurts
But,
a ton, especially I mean, but he went 6 for 18,
mhm.
13 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, 5 turnovers. Yeah. And I think another aspect to this is and I think another reason why Golden State was so successful in the first 2 quarters because they won every single quarter except the third.
Mhm.
And I think a big reason was that Marcus Smart being in foul trouble.
Yeah, but the thing about it, let's keep it 100. Marcus Smart being in foul trouble, blah, blah, blah. Marcus Smart was out there sitting here trying to cater to the rest, trying to beat the rest. He wasn't trying to beat the
Yeah,
Warriors.
yeah.
He was out there
Yeah, I saw that.
flopping. He was out there trying to get every single call he can get. Think of like Marcus. I understand you're going against a better offensive player. You're supposed to be the defensive player of the year. But at some point, you got to sit there and be like, yo, let me play ball and let me be the better player out there. You're just trying to be the better actor out there. And this is what it showed. You're not trying to use talent. You're trying to use acting skills and get your
Yeah.
cross on there. Let's go out there and play ball, my guy.
Let's go out there and play ball. Now I agree with that. I agree with that. And then you don't have as much contribution. I mean, look, for what it's worth, Al Horford balled out. 6 for 8, 4 for 5 from 3,
This is
19 points and 14 rebounds. And,
and let's
and
talk about go ahead. Let's go ahead and finish. I'm sorry.
no, you good. You good. I just wanted to get that across. That I mean, I think Al Horford balled out. I mean, he didn't know if he was gonna be back there or not. I think he balled out. He did not want to go home.
His very first playoff finals, he balled out on that closeout game. But the thing about it is, they had a whole stretch run of Al Horford. He's the reason why that game was they even lost by 13. They would have got smoked by 25 plus if it wasn't
Yeah.
for Al Horford. And we got to
Yep.
think about it, Tatum. That's supposed to be your job. That's supposed to be your responsibility. And I understand we want role players to help in the finals and make things happen. But at the end of the day, Tatum, that's supposed to be you. You're supposed to be the reason why
Yep.
the game is getting even close. The game is being that's supposed to be you, Tatum. I'm happy for Al Horford and all that, but Tatum, that's supposed to be you.
I I totally agree. I mean, I feel like one part of me feels like we're putting too much responsibility on a kid. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fate of the world is on his shoulders. It's a lot of responsibility to take for a kid. I mean, he's still a baby in the NBA, you know? Um, but the other side of me is if you want to be a superstar, you want to be known as that guy, you want to be a consistent all-star, you have to be consistent. You have to play like it. You have to go out there with that mentality like nobody's going to stop me. And I don't feel like that's what we got from him. Maybe 2 or 3 games, but not 6 games. We did not get that from him.
But hey, whoever said I was a superstar? Who did I just go out there? Or was this just y'all that said that? Tatum, Tatum. I understand nobody. You never sat there said you was a superstar, so I could 100% put that like it's not Paul George playoff P and then going bombing and stuff. It's not that you know what I mean. You never called yourself a superstar, but you're on a star level, and we're talking about can you make a superstar jump? So it's like at the end of the day, for the team, you are the superstar in that team. You might
Yeah.
not be the biggest superstar across the whole league, but you're the superstar for that team.
Yep.
And to the fact that you get that mentality in your head that you are that and you will be that, and you have to be the guy who gets that across and figure out a way to win the game for everybody,
Yep.
you'll never be that. So next time, just accept that. Be like, yeah, I am the superstar. You guys are right, and I need to play better. And this, that, and the third. Until you start believing that and talking that into yourself,
Yep.
it'll never be.
And
So
and
next
that's
time,
another
go
thing I
ahead.
didn't like. No, I'm sorry. I just saying that's another thing I didn't like. Did you see the post game? Did you see the post game conference with him and Marcus
I
Smart? It was. I gotta
I
send
didn't
it to
see
you.
that one. I
Okay,
didn't watch
I
that
gotta send
one.
it to you. I'm
I
gonna
was
send it to you.
watching the
I watched.
Warriors ones.
No, I watched all of them. I watched the
Yeah.
Celtics, give their statements, and I watched the Warriors. I did not like his body language at all. While he was at the presser, I did not like his body language. And not only that, I didn't like the fact that you want to be if it was Kobe, and I hate to keep staying there, right? But the
Yeah.
thing is, you can't sit here and say like I there was times during the game where I'm thinking like, okay, you have to go if you Kobe, right? Go into your Kobe bag, go on a block,
Uh-huh.
and back down a smaller dude. Yo, get the switch that you want. Get Curry, get I don't know, maybe even
Cool.
Clay, Poole. Get a
Yeah,
smaller defender on
yeah,
you.
like Clay on
No, you
him.
can't do Clay. You can't do Clay. But you could but you could get Clay.
Yeah,
I mean, you could
cool.
get Curry, you
Yeah,
could get Poole, you could get
that's
you
it.
could even get Gary Payton.
Yeah,
Put him on a block. What would Kobe do on a block? He's backing you down. He's gonna
barbecue
work on the
chicken.
fadeaway or get you in the air and go for the layup.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was a wizard at that. He was a wizard at that. And if not, he's gonna draw the foul from you because you're gonna overextend because he's backing you down. Get into your bag. But that's not what I want to. I want to stick to the presser because I felt like his body language was just off. And the reason why I bring up Kobe is because when Kobe lost against the Celtics, when they lost that finals, he he sat there and said, "This is on me. This is on me. We lost because of me. I did it. I failed my team. And what I'm gonna do to make it right, we'll be back here next year." And what happened? They came back next year and they won the finals. So that's what I want. That's what you need. If you want to be a superstar, it's not even about what you do on the floor. it's about what you do off the floor as well. Being you want to consider yourself at that level, you have to do it off the floor as well. You have to take accountability.
Mhm.
Um, and as the star, even if it's not your fault, even if you know you could pick out the guys whose fault it was, nope, it's on me.
Yeah,
This is my team. This is on me.
it's like
I didn't go ahead.
go ahead. No, it's like let's keep it 100. It's like method acting. We see
Yeah.
the good and the bad of it. You know what I mean? It's to the point where you have to, like I said, you got to tell yourself that you got to be that superstar no matter where you are. Every time you're in practice, every time you're around your players, you can't take no time off. This is why people hated Kobe. People hated Jordan at times because even in practice, they're sitting there giving it their all.
Yep.
You can't even take a moment off. You got a guy like Steve Kerr want to fight Jordan. Like,
Yeah.
come
At
on,
practice.
at practice. You
We
know,
talking practice? We talking
practice.
practice?
So it's like you gotta start being that at the end of the
Yeah.
day. Like, but the thing about it is tough because certain people have that mentality, and I ain't gonna hold you. When I look at Tatum and from stuff that he's saying, it's just like that
Mhm.
mentality is not there.
It's
Let's
not
just
there.
say he's on that light skin stuff.
What's the saying? You either got it or you don't.
Bro, he ain't
I
got
just feel
it.
like
He gotta get
he
it.
don't got
Like
it. But that's the thing. Like
you
when
can
at
get
what
that
point do you
mentality
get it?
down.
Because I've always felt like Kobe and Jordan and even Braun they came into that league with that mentality.
Mhm.
Like it's not like they developed that mentality going no. They developed that mentality the day they Kobe before he even stepped into the NBA had that mentality. I was
Yeah.
watching that was watching the documentary with what's his face, the big ticket. Um, big ticket. Yeah,
Garnett.
so yeah, Garnett. I'm watching the documentary and he's like Kobe high school student. I'm like, who let this kid into the locker room? And he's just sitting there like,
Mhm.
yeah. So what it's like? How fast do they run? How fast is the league and every? That's Kobe's mentality. He was thinking about being in the NBA before he even got there. And by the time he
Yeah.
got there, his mentality, his body was already adjusted to it. You have to have that mentality. And I just at this moment, I don't think Tatum has it right now.
Yeah, like I said, the guy on the team who got a mentality the closest to it is a guy
Brown,
like Jalen Brown.
Brown, Brown,
That's the
and he
guy,
would have been the MVP.
and
He would have been MVP.
yeah, and that's what I sat here and said. What I was telling you, I was like, yo, when I was comparing them to MJ and Jordan, as far as like the Batman and Robin and the team, where somebody's got to pass the ball and somebody got to score the ball. And I said Tatum has the skill set to score it. The thing is, I think the way he's playing, the way his mentality is, he has to be the fucking Scottie Pippen as far as situating everything for everybody and possibly passing the ball. He could get his buckets because he's way better scorer than Scottie Pippen ever will be. But I think he's probably got to make more of that passing role where he got to make that really a part of his game because Jalen Brown ain't going to develop it. You could just see it
Yeah,
in his
he's not.
game.
Yeah,
He's not. The
yeah, he's
person
not.
that's closest to being able to develop that is Jason. It's just about him slowing his game down and understanding the game where it's slower to him and he can make all those passes. But it's just tough for both of them because he got to learn it. These other
Yeah,
people I'm
he
talking
he
like
has to learn
Scottie
it.
Pippen, they know how to pass the ball already, but he's really got to learn that. Or like we
I
said,
wouldn't
we got
even
to figure
say
out those.
Scotty. I wouldn't even say Scotty. I would more liken it to LeBron. Think about it.
Yeah.
LeBron's vision is incredible, almost unmatched. And the way that he sees the floor, he's seeing it 3 or 4 steps. I mean, he's playing chess out there while everybody else is playing checkers. As far as when it comes to seeing the floor and facilitating the ball, and he picks and chooses his spots when he's going to attack and when he's going to pass. And when he sees the defense is starting to be a little bit more aggressive on him, what does he do? He starts finding open teammates. He starts making the floor shrink down so that all the shooters that you have around him have so much space to get the ball off.
Mhm.
That has to be Tatum. That
Yeah, he
has to
just
be
gotta
Tatum.
learn. He gotta learn how to dissect the game. That's really what it is.
I don't want to stay on Tatum. I don't want to bag on him too much. I mean,
No,
he's a
no, we're just
kid,
trying to
man.
adjust, but we're
Nah,
not
yeah.
bragging
I don't
bashing
want.
on him. I think at the beginning was bashing. Now this is just making an adjustment for he got to
Yeah,
see. Like he's still, like you said, they're ahead of schedule. I always loved
yeah,
Jason Tatum. That's why I'm so hard on him right now. I love Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, and I just think that that's just really what they got to do. That's it. Like he just got his mentality right and dissect the game better. Because 100 turnovers is unacceptable.
yeah. 100 turtles, unacceptable, unacceptable. Um, let's talk about the Warriors specifically before I even go into, we could break down the game and everything because eventually I want to get to that point. I want to talk about our MVP, Steph Curry. I'm sorry. Let me back this up. Wardell Stephen Curry, your Finals MVP. No, I want to give you a stat real quick, bro. I want to give you a stat.
Uh,
In closeout games, Stephen Curry is averaging 32 points. I'm sorry, 33. It's like 33 point something or whatever. 33 points on 50% shooting. Closeout games. When is he gonna get the when is he gonna get the respect? Because he does not get the respect, bro. Like I think now he will, but he does
I
not
mean,
get that respect.
the respect is earned now because like we said, we think about it, and even in the conversation we seen on Facebook about him having less help. What's it? He said less help or something, but he had help throughout all his stuff. The first one is
Yeah,
like, all right, cool. He didn't. He had basically the team he has now, as far as like big three, and then
right.
the rest of the strength and numbers type of thing going on. But then we look at the series and we be like, well, LeBron was by himself because thing
Yeah, Kyrie and
Kyrie
Love
and
was hurt.
Love was
Hmm.
hurt. So it's like, all right, cool. They're gonna negate that. I want to put an asterisk over that one.
Okay.
Cool. And then you got the next two with KD. So they're gonna sit there and throw KD was well, you had KD, like the decks was on your, you know what I mean? Y'all had all the cards in your favor.
No,
Cool.
but I don't like that argument with KD. I don't like that argument because you look at how they played. It doesn't matter was it the Cleveland series or even the Houston series or the Clippers series. Every single series that they ran into, Curry was getting double or triple teams still. They wasn't throwing double teams at Durant the way that they was throwing it at Curry. It was Curry.
I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, when you upgrade your Harrison Barnes with KD,
Mhm.
the decks, the you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
All
I
the
understand.
cards
I
are in
understand.
play.
I
So it's
understand. I
like
mean,
that
I get
when
that.
you think of that, it's just like they kind of negate those ones, and then he didn't even have a Finals MVP coming into those three. So
Right.
now when you get to this one, this is the one where he faced the most adversity. This is the one where you sat there and be like, "Yo, Steph, you have to get 30 points every game for
Every
y'all
game.
to
Yeah.
win."
Yeah.
And then guess what he did? He got 30 points. He averaged 30 points. And then on a high efficiency, because with a superstar on your team, with you being a superstar for that team, you
Yeah.
have
You're
to
not.
be at least 50% shooting and still put up 30 points.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say 50%. I would say more like
I
anywhere between
say
like 43 to 45
I say
from
50.
the field.
You could say it for him because he shoots threes, so it changes the, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, the aspect of it. But as far as that, you gotta be at least 45 to 50%
Okay.
shooting.
Hmm.
Well, I'll just give you your 45 at the 50% shooting as an efficient superstar.
Right.
And that's the only way you can make a real impact at his position because he's not the defender. Only
Yeah.
thing going on the court is to shoot the ball, get to the basket, and score the ball. That's your only job. So it's like you got to do that at a high level. He came in there and did it at a high level.
And it's funny that you bring up the defending because he played incredible defense.
He did. That's the
He
that's the
played
worst part
incredible
about it.
defense.
I got the screenshot. They was like in that game.
Yo, yeah, Al Horford backing him
Oh,
down and for a second, man. That was
but I mean,
crazy.
at the end of the day, the way basketball is now, that. What was it? Look at this. Look, Steph Curry at Game 6, he gave up 10 points on the defensive end. They was
That's
three for
incredible.
12, 3 for 12 when he was guarding them. So they shot 25% and 6 turnovers
That's incredible.
in Game 6. when they had
That's
to close
incredible.
out. He was one of your best defenders. He was supposed to be what Marcus Smart was supposed to be. That's what he was.
Not to mention he gave you a 30 piece uh
30 piece
with
nugget.
uh
You know what I
with
mean?
7 rebounds and 7 assists. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just incredible. I mean, when you look at, if Steph Curry wasn't in your top 10, there's an argument that he should be there now at the
Hmm.
very least.
Unless you just don't like shooters.
Unless you don't like shooters. I mean, look at somebody like Isaiah Thomas, who is revered as one of the greatest point guards of all time. And even he's saying, look, Curry surpassed me. Curry has surpassed me. And for somebody as great as Isaiah to say that, I mean, that has to be taken into account. I
Mhm.
mean, Curry played phenomenal. I don't want to just limit it to game 6. I think every single game he played, but even on the night that he didn't shoot the best, he still went out there and performed. He still drew the defense. He still, um, he still made it tough. Um,
Mhm.
you gotta take your
He
hats
made
off
it.
to the
Yeah.
Warriors.
He made it tough on the defense and just made it easy on his teammates.
Yeah, I'm looking at these stats. I mean, it's just it's night and day. And the craziest thing is, excuse me, the craziest thing is they had more fouls. They had less blocks. They they barely won the rebound margin. They was tied up in assists. The only thing that glaringly jumps out at you is turnovers. 15 turnovers to 22. And
Yeah.
that's what ultimately done. You can't turn the ball over on Golden State. You can't. They led. I think they had what the if not the highest. I think it was like number 2 and number 3 of most transition points in the
Yeah,
postseason.
playoffs. Yep.
Right. So I mean, you just can't do it to them. I mean, they do it every year. They do it on the floor, and man, I mean, hats off to that team. But I do want to talk about Clay.
Oh, lordy.
Game 6, Clay didn't show up.
I
Do
mean,
you
I
feel
told
like he
you,
was pressing? Like what
I
was going
told
on
you,
with
he
Clay?
done. Look, the world done hyped it up. He hyped it up himself to the point where he went out there and he was just taking shots. He was just like, "It's game 6. These shots are just gonna fall because it's game 6. Like the universe knows it's game 6. So when I put up this shot, it should go in." And that man took like 25 shots. What was he like? I don't know. What was he?
He
He
took 20.
didn't
He
shoot
took
too
20
well.
shots. He only made 5. 2 for 8 from
Bro,
3.
exactly. He just thought it was game 6 and it was just gonna drop for him. And the thing about it is he ain't have game 6 offense, but if we talk about defense,
Yeah.
that's where Clay came up and showed out. Like we got to sit there and understand that as the series went on, he got better on defense. But I sit there, you think about game 1 to game 3, you be like, oh, he's on Al Horford. I like him on Al Horford because right now he ain't giving us nothing.
Yeah.
But as the series went on, you seen he was moving his feet. He was actually keeping up, staying in front of Jalen Brown, cutting off his lanes, and then also contesting on Tatum perfectly fine. It was just like, and then just switching them everywhere. I'm just like, all right, cool. He finally getting his legs under him as far as like moving on defense and just understanding that, yo, let's just be everywhere. Let's just switch it. Let's make it happen. And now that making it happen.
Well, I think that's a testament to not only him playing, more, but I think it's
Mhm.
also the fact that he didn't really have to throughout the he didn't have somebody that was, quick to the rim, quick feet that he had to defend, and who was he really guarding in the Mavs series, or even the Memphis
Yeah.
series? He wasn't really guarding anybody that was, that can move the way that Jalen Brown does, that he has to move his feet and be able to stay in front of him. I mean, when's the last time he was truly tested like that? And I don't think it was the regular season. The regular season, he was still, getting his conditioning and getting his win back. Now he has it going into the postseason. You don't have anybody that he's really defending on that level. It was Wiggins. Wiggins was the one that was doing that. And hats off to Wiggs too. The huge hats off the Wiggs. 7 for 18, 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 4 steals. Big time Wiggs, man. Wiggs is probably one of the best pickups they ever made next to Kevin Durant. Period.
Hmm.
Period.
They
And I
definitely
think
made that happen.
yeah, and I think another testament is Gary Payton. I think Gary Payton is huge for them. And if they don't re-sign Gary Payton, I think that's going to be a huge blow. Gary Payton is almost equivalent to Sean Livingston, in my opinion, for what Sean Livingston did for the team during their first run. You don't agree?
Yeah. I mean, giving him energy off the bench. Yeah, I mean, he gave him scoring and more floor general off out there, and the ability to take advantage of mismatch on guards and stuff, and get into the posts. But obviously,
Well,
they're
I
two
think you
different
got Jordan
players.
Poole for that. You got
But that's
Poole
what
for
I'm
that.
saying. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They're two different players, so what they bring is two different things. I mean, I can't say they're the same, but
Well, I'm not saying that they're the same. I'm more saying that for what Livingston brought to that second unit, I feel like Gary Payton does. As far as defense, as far as um, getting people in their spots, as far as knowing where to be on the floor, and as far as rebounding too. I mean, there was a lot of offensive rebounds that he had corralled because nobody's thinking he's gonna come from the weak side and grab that rebound. They're not boxing out for him. They're boxing out for like Looney or Draymond. They're not boxing out for Gary Payton, and he just comes in underneath and cleans everything up. So I think for what he does, I mean, to me, he filled a part of Sean Livingston's role. I think the other part was Poole, and Poole was fantastic this game too. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. I mean, he came off the bench and he was just like, "Look,
I mean, technically,
I'm
Poole
I'm
would be
gonna do it."
Barbosa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's an argument for that. There's an argument for that. Although Barbosa doesn't have the same range or I want to
I
say
mean, he hit those threes from everywhere that court though for them,
I mean Barbosa did, but I want to say
and
Jordan
that he
Poole is
was
a lot more
fast.
athletic. He's a
Yeah.
lot more
No, I mean,
Barbosa was
I don't
pure
think about
speed.
athletic. I think he's more, as far as like he had a better,
Poole
quick
is more
first step.
explosive.
Yeah, like off the first step, but I think they probably both bring the same thing. Him and
I mean,
Barbosa.
they're both
He just got
fast. They're
more
both
ball handling. Yeah, they
yeah, I
both
think they're
are.
both very fast, yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, this team kind of resembles the 2015 team, but
Hmm.
but then it doesn't. At the same time, it's almost weird in that aspect because
It's
you look at the
strength and numbers,
2015,
baby.
yeah, you look at that
Word of Jaron
2015
Jackson.
team. You look at that 2015 team and you're thinking like this squad could beat, this squad could beat LeBron. And then you look at this squad and you're like, nah, this squad right here, they could beat LeBron. They could if LeBron was still on Cleveland, same around the people around him and everything, full strength. I'm still picking the Warriors. And that's a testament to the Warriors. That's a testament to their defense. They came into the playoffs number 2, and it's also a testament to their culture. Their culture has never changed ever. uh, since Kerr and everything, but that culture hasn't changed. And you know what's the weird part? I don't even want to bring Kevin Durant into this, but I'm gonna bring
Oh,
Kevin
no
Durant
good.
into this. Kevin Durant, he left OKC because he wanted a different culture where the ball doesn't stick. Right, the ball is not.
Hmm.
There's no ISO type ball. Golden State is a perfect place because the ball doesn't really stick. It moves around. There's a lot of moving parts, the cutting and everything. But then you leave there and you go to Brooklyn and it's the same exact situation that you had in OKC. The same exact situation, just different
Yeah.
players.
I mean, that kind of goes into one of those factors where it's just like players are players, and you got to leave GM and coaching to other people and just fall into their system because not every player knows exactly what they're doing. You know what I mean? And
LeBron, prime example.
yeah, yeah, not everyone. He picked up Westbrook. He pulled the plug on Westbrook, and we see how that went. And then you can
Mhm,
see Kevin Durant, like, yo, you're a great ISO player, so that's what you know. So when
mhm.
it comes to any coach that you get, they go like, well, we got Kevin Durant, let's ISO him. And then if I sit here and be like, yo, well, let's move the ball, and Kevin Durant just starts feeling like, well, I could just ISO him anytime. It's just like that's just what it turns into. And it's just like that's what they needed at that point. They ain't build around having players who going to sit there and be like, you know what? No, we're going to get into this action. We're going to get into this action. We really need to get into this action, and have
Mhm.
him to be like, all right, cool. He went into a place like the Warriors where they already had that established, and he just falls into it. He's not somewhere where he'll go places and they'll be like, oh well, well, you want to start moving? You know what I mean?
Do,
So it's like,
do you think
go
you
ahead.
think he's kicking himself?
I mean, no. At the end of the day, he wanted to make his own way. He listens to the narratives. He listens to everything on social media. That's just the way he is.
Mhm.
And he was just like, yo, look, let me go somewhere and show them I could really win this without them. Can he win it without them? Let's keep it 100. He can. And you can sit there and make that argument, but guess what? Last season, he was a toe away from being in the finals.
Yeah,
And if he
yeah.
would have went to the finals, no matter what, I think he would have won that. And then you talk about this year, literally, if they have all these situations, like if everything gel fully,
Mhm.
and we ain't have Kyrie who not wanting to take the shot, and then start bullying Harden and Harden being soft minded.
Yeah.
If that all would have went well and it was all playing, like you can't tell me like they wouldn't have beat the Celtics.
No, I think that they would. I think a fully
So it's
healthy
like
Brooklyn team would have went
so it's like to
would
say
have went
that
at least to the
he
Eastern Conference.
we gotta sit there and just put that on. It just happened to be a bad luck of the draw for him, like both
Mhm.
times. Because at the end of the day, it's like, shoot, Kevin Durant has the talent to beat anybody on the court.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get the people around him, and then on top of that, it's like if he would have just made it to, had the team this year properly, who is to say he would have won? He was like coming into the season, they was like second chance to win the whole thing.
Yeah, they
They were like the
was.
number 2 team.
Yep.
So it's like we can't sit there and say, yo, he can't win. Like they put a good team together. It's just about getting it, have him right. So it's like at this point right now with all the stuff going on now, it's like, damn, he might not. But he had 2 possible opportunities that he really could have this
Yeah.
year. And y'all can't take that away from him. So it's just literally bad luck.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that a fully healthy Brooklyn team, the team that they had this year, if they was all fully healthy and Kyrie played every single game, they would have came into the postseason with a lot of steam. But I still think a fully healthy Milwaukee team would have probably beat any other team. I mean, Milwaukee is a great team. They have a great system as well, and you have one of the most dominant players in the game right now in Giannis, and he's tough. He's tough to match up against. I think
Mm-hmm.
Boston just figured it out. They threw a lot of bodies at him, and they worked in the refs' favors as far as with getting him into foul trouble and making him
Mm-hmm.
second guess whether he wanted to go into the paint or not, and forcing him to shoot the ball. Not every team is going to be able to do that. A lot of teams, Brooklyn is one of them, will play him one up. They'll have KD on him, or they'll put somebody else on him, and because there's nobody else that's strong enough to able to to stay in front of him. I think I'm sorry. I think Boston and Miami were probably the 2 teams that be able to strength wise able to guard him. I mean, I don't even want to say stop him, but guard him, slow him down.
Yeah.
There's nobody in Brooklyn that'll be able to do that, to slow him down. You're
Nobody.
not
I
doing that.
mean, yeah, nobody. But as a team, I think, like I said, it just comes down to coaching and chemistry for Brooklyn. I don't think it probably would have been who knows. Like you said, who
Yeah,
knows? Last season it was KD going against a healthy Milwaukee,
yeah,
and they went 7 games and literally
yeah.
could have lost.
I mean,
So
yeah.
it's
I
like to
mean,
have him with more help. It's like even though they don't have the defense like that, it's just the fact
mm,
can they stop the offense? Milwaukee, but it's tough. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you said, it's tough to stop Giannis because at the end of the day, no matter how good Boston was on Giannis, he still went through the series with like 200 points. What was
Hmm.
like 200 points, 100 rebounds, and 100 assists. Something like
Yeah,
that. Some crazy number where he was
yeah,
gassed and exhausted after. So it's like, it's tough.
yeah. Nah, I totally agree. I do want to make our way too early picks. We're gonna
Oh,
start off with
Lord,
the
that's
Western Conference. So again, there's 8 teams that get to go to the dance, and we're not gonna go through each round. We're just gonna say who's gonna go to the playoffs next year, and then who's gonna make it to the finals, and then who's gonna win the finals. So we're gonna give our picks. So
I don't
out of
know
the
the
Western,
teams.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
listening. I said, I don't know the teams.
All right, so I'll
But
go first. I'll go first. Out of the Western Conference, I have. I'm gonna keep it. There's gonna be a couple of changes, but I'm gonna keep it almost exactly how this season went. So my 8 teams are gonna be Miami, Boston, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Chicago, Brooklyn, Atlanta, and the Knicks. I don't know why, but I just have a good feeling that the Knicks will make the playoffs.
the
They not might they,
Knicks. Oh
they might
my
not.
god.
Hey man, I got to get my guys involved. Um, and then on the Western Conference, I think is gonna
Did you
go.
say the Sixers?
Yeah, I said the Sixers.
I was about to say, all right. Listen.
Um, and then the Western Conference, I have Phoenix, Memphis, Dallas, Denver, Golden State, of course, the Lakers, and the Clippers. I don't think Utah's going to the playoffs next year.
Yeah,
And
because we got to see how that roster shakes out.
yeah. So right now, my way too early out of the 8 that I had was the Suns, Grizzlies, Warriors, Mavs, Nuggets, Lakers, Clippers. Damn, that's 7. Man, it's a toss up because I really like the Pelicans. I do. I think that they're
Yeah,
gonna be
that's what I'm
young and
thinking. You
hungry.
got to put the Pelicans in there.
I
The hell,
Yeah,
who else you want to put
but
in there on the West? Did you say
San
Minnesota?
Antonio, man, San Antonio.
Did you say
That
Minnesota?
I did. No, I didn't. I didn't. And that's another team. So that's why it's like it's
What
tough.
about the
It's tough.
Grizzlies? You said the Grizz?
Yeah, I said the Grizzlies. Said the Grizzlies. So I have 7 so far. So I have the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Warriors, the Mavs, the Nuggets, the Warriors. Did I say the Warriors already?
Yeah.
The Clippers, the Lakers, and yeah. So my top, so my 8th is gonna be a toss up, but I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna say New Orleans. I'm gonna go with my gut. So my 8th team will be New Orleans, and who I got going to the finals will be Golden State and Brooklyn, and I have Golden State winning another finals.
Well, we're too early into the
I mean,
postseason.
come on, this is
It
way
just
too early. It's
ended the
way too
other
early.
day.
It's
This is
it's
way
way
too
too early.
early
We
to
got to
be
give our
talking
picks,
this
man.
talk. I want to see
It's
some
way
at
too
least
early.
trade options. I want to see what's going on.
Nah, we got to
Um,
give our picks. It's way too early. We could change them. We could change them
but
after
I would
we
agree
see
with you.
everything.
But I would agree with you on that list. But I gotta see. Did you say the Cavs, bro? Did you leave them
I didn't see
out?
the Cavs. I did leave the Cavs
Bro,
out.
how are you gonna leave the
I had
Cavs out?
I had
Cavs and Charlotte
I
is gonna be the playing.
I know.
God,
I
like I
and
think they're gonna make it in there.
I like Charlotte and I like the Cavs, but I also like Atlanta. I also like Atlanta.
I don't. I like
No,
Atlanta, but I don't. The reason it's just they're gonna have too much. They're gonna have too much stuff going
it's
on
too much
this year.
adversity.
Again,
There's too much
there's too
going
much
on over there.
stuff going on. I think, and we gotta see how it shakes out. Though that's one of the teams I think they could be because you got Trey Young, who's one of the
Yeah,
upcoming
he's one
goats in
coming.
League
Yeah,
Two. And
I don't know.
it's
I
tough
really
because
like
what's
Charlotte. If I had to backtrack on any one team, it would probably be Atlanta, and I would go in favor of Charlotte. I like Charlotte over the Cavs and Atlanta. I think they have a lot more working for them. They have.
I don't know. I think that defense at the Cavs though is
I mean, no, the Cavs deep, but that's the thing though. It's just the defense. They don't have enough offensively.
what do you mean?
Uh,
That's the
well,
one thing they got to
well, I
bring
mean, it was
Sexton
injured. There was
back and
injured.
we'll just
There
see
was a
how
lot of injured.
Sexton shake out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There was a lot of injuries and stuff, and I want to see how Sexton comes back. Off of that, yeah. I just at this point, with the way it is right now, I like Charlotte better, but I have to give Atlanta the benefit of the doubt. I have to. They've been there twice. They went back to the playoffs. They beat the Knicks in the first round. And gave us a gentleman's sweep. So I have to give the Hawks at the very least the benefit of the doubt. What if
and
they
also
make a couple of moves, man? That's
yeah, we
really
gotta
all it
see the
takes.
moves. That's what they really do because we gotta see about the Collins and the and what's the big man? That big man they got to get rid of.
Oh, Capella?
Yeah. Did you say Toronto? Or you left my boys out.
I left Toronto out. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs this year, bro. I don't, bro. I think Siakam gets traded. I think Siakam is going to get traded this offseason. And I think that's going to it's gonna
Yeah.
make them take a step back because now you're banking on as terrific as I think Scotty Barnes is, you're banking on him making the next step in not just from being a better player next year, but to being a superstar. He's not there yet.
They're
He's
not
not.
getting rid of Siakam.
I don't know, man.
They're
I don't
not.
know.
They're not
I
getting
don't
rid of
know.
Siakam because they're trying to build the long athletic team. He's the core of that. It's gonna be like another 2 or 3 years before something like that would happen. You know what I mean? They gotta still give it
Mhm.
time to develop with that. With him and Scotty Barnes anyway, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't see that happening. So I think they're gonna be solid. You know, they're about to be the Spurs of the East. Or
I
could we
mean,
say
yeah.
Miami at a time? Because Miami, even though they was a bad team, like as far as you know, they had good coaching, a good culture where they was always in the middle of the pack. So I think Toronto's gonna be in the middle pack. So I think Toronto's gonna make it, bro. I don't know who
I don't know.
else you
I
put
think
on
I
that
think I
list.
think
Oh,
I
you put
think
the Knicks
Toronto's
on
gonna
that
be in the
list, man.
play-in.
Get the
I
hell out
did.
of here. The Knicks
I
is out
did.
of here,
I
boy.
did.
Those are my
Look, look,
boys.
look,
Those are my
look,
boys.
look,
But get them out of here. I need to
look,
know.
man.
Go ahead.
Look,
I want to
I
hear it.
all
I
right, all
want to
right.
hear it.
I
The fandom shit.
maybe I'm biased because the Knicks are my team. I got my blue and orange faithful
Of
here. I
course,
got
that's
my
our
colors going on.
team. But at the end of
But
the day,
but but look. I have full confidence that Tibbs is gonna right the ship because look when you really look at it, Tibbs does enough to get his guys involved to get back to the playoffs. They got to the playoffs the first season. They didn't make the play. They're playing this year. I think they do enough to at least make the play-in and
what's
get a shot at the
enough
dance.
what enough trading Randall?
Look if they trade Randall and they get the right
God,
pieces. I mean, and they retain Mitchell Robinson. I think that's a key aspect. They have to retain Mitch. Um, and yeah, I don't look, man. Randall was a baby this entire season. His attitude stunk.
yeah.
He cost the team a lot of wins. He
I
himself
don't care
cost
what
the
they
team a
say.
lot of
You got to
wins.
get rid of Randall's and Tibbs at the same time.
I don't I don't mind Tibbs not leaving.
I
I
understand you
mind if
don't
we keep
mind
Randall.
it. You
And
don't
yeah, I don't
mind
mind it.
it.
I no, I think in order for the culture, I think in order for
I
the
even
team to
had
move forward,
words.
they need a better.
I even
I don't
had
want to say a
words. I just
better coach
screamed.
because I mean I think Tibbs is a good coach. I think that they need a better culture. The culture that Tibbs has, especially for the fact that how he plays his he is
All
vets
right.
over everybody else. I don't like it. I
Yeah,
want
yeah. And guess what? That's getting rid of the coach to create your culture.
yeah, true, true,
Like you
true.
gotta
I'll
get
give
the
you
right
that.
coach in there. That's what I'm saying here. Like Tibbs and Randall have to go. You need people who's gonna listen, people who's gonna buy in. And a guy like Randall's not gonna buy in. A guy like Tibbs It's
He's
the
not going to
coach.
change.
He's not gonna change.
He's not going to
Exactly.
change.
He's
Yeah.
not gonna change. So it's like you got to get rid of both of them.
Well, then they're not going to get rid of both of them. They're going to get rid of one of them, and
You
the
lucky
first one
I'm
is
not there.
probably on the.
I don't care how much I still have to pay y'all. I got rid of y'all, and we would have
I,
started from
I,
there. You call me
I
what you
think
want.
the first coach that they get rid of is going. I mean, the first thing that they get rid of is going to be Randall. But
Yeah,
you
that's
know who
easy.
I wouldn't mind? You know who I wouldn't mind taking that job?
Who?
What's his face from Utah, who just resigned?
Quinn Snyder.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Quinn Snyder taking the job over.
Hmm.
I wouldn't mind. But who
I
I
don't
always
mind
wanted,
either.
was a tie between either Mark Jackson or I want Van Gundy to come out of retirement. I want Van Gundy to get another shot with the Knicks. I do. I think Van Gundy is an outstanding basketball mind, and the way that he
Yeah.
looks at the game is very impactful. And I mean, you look at the last time he coached, he brought the Knicks to the finals. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, with that said, I've always wanted Van Gundy to come out of retirement, and I think that if he comes out of retirement for any team, it would probably be for the Knicks because I feel like he has unfinished business there. You can go back and finish your business. That's the way
Yeah.
I feel about it.
I don't mind him, but still, you got the Knicks in there. Let's get him the fuck up out of there.
All right, that's the way too early, way too early predictions. We're gonna go into this off season. A lot of moves are gonna be made. We're gonna be here. We're not gonna be here as frequently. There's gonna be 2 episodes a week from probably it's the off season. We can do one episode, right? One episode a week.
Yeah, I might just do
Yeah, until
something though and throw it up there. Who knows?
yeah. So we'll figure everything out, but more than likely it's probably gonna be a one episode a week till actual action happens. The off season actually starts up and we get
Maybe
some movement.
1.5. You feel me?
Yeah. Oh, we got the draft. We got the draft next week.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
vibe with
So
that.
so we'll be here live for the draft and then we'll do an episode our breakdown of the draft. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some trades and stuff going on there. And
Definitely.
yeah, they gotta be. They gotta be. Somebody's trading back or trading up.
Mm-hmm.
So so we'll be here live next week for the draft. And yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. Congratulations to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Wardell Stephen Curry.
Yo. We gotta give a big shout out to my guy Draymond, man. You know I love players like that. So Draymond, you gotta give love a shout out. He almost had a
Oh
triple
yeah,
double to
shout out to
close
Dre.
that game out,
Yeah, shout out
man.
to
What is
Dre.
he talking about?
Shout,
He
yo,
says
Dre.
all time.
Yeah,
Dre, you my guy. I love you, man.
yo, Dre saw his mother's tweets and was like, and I'll take that personal.
And I took that personal here. Hold
And I
my
took
beer.
that personal. Yep. Yo. If anybody could get close to Draymond, I know he got his pod, but if we could get on his pod and he could get on ours, man, that'd be dope, man. So yeah, if you know Draymond, put in that word so we could get him on the show for sure. But yeah, man, thanks everybody for tuning in. X, go ahead and take us out of here.
Man, you already know, man. Hold on. I hope you ain't hit the button yet, man.
Nah,
The
I ain't
Warriors, the Warriors is the champs, man. 2021, 2022 champs, man. We the
Shout out
champs,
Golden
man.
State, baby. Shout out San
Shout out to
Francisco.
my,
Oakland.
shout out to my
Shout out
light skinned boys, man. What is they talking
Splash
about?
Bros is in the building. It's a pool party.
Splash
We
Bros.
gotta throw a pool
They
party,
having
man.
a pool party, man. What you thought? Water was already. What? Come on, man. But y'all already know the vibes, man. Y'all already know the vibes, man. We here every week. Like, share, sub, or all the above, man. Your boy